I want to try and kill two birds with one stone here. So before I said that this pipe down here is a little bit pulled, a little bit tight. I suggested it might be the wrong pipe. In fact, I think it is the correct pipe. But you see, this filter's been clocked in the wrong angle. So it's been clocked kind of more anti-clockwise than it needs to be, making this pipe further to the bulkhead and pulling that fuel line too much and causing it to leak eventually. So you can actually clock this wherever you want. And I've actually got another setup with an old filter on it to show you the correct clocking, but it should, instead of the two ends being like that, more kind of straight, and making this this head of the pipe closer and making this angle less harsh. So I've got a new fuel filter to go on, I've got new fuel pipes to go on, and I've also got a seal. So down there, it'll be more of this when I take this all off, but there's no seal for the heater matrix. So I've actually got a whole load of seals here, and there's a guy in the UK that deserves a shout out, a guy called Nicky Boy Dingle, and he's on Facebook Messenger, and he can sort you out loads of little bits and bobs like this. I've got a whole bag of seals here that I bought off the guy, and it's just nice that there's someone who's breaking these cars that doesn't mind selling you the little bits, so shout out to him. Got a fuel filter in here, I've got a whole load of copper washers that I need, and this comes with some of the copper washers, but I'm going to replace all of them, so that's that. And then I've got underneath all this, that's something else. This is the actual fuel filter setup. So you can see here it's correctly clocked, so compared to the bulkhead, you can see it's much more neutral, so this one isn't too far back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip this all down. First I'm going to take off my air filter that I just put on, and then I'll get to work by undoing the fuel filter setup. So there's that air filter you would have seen me put on before. Like I say, it's a very nice system, just one Jubilee and the whole thing's off. And then now I'm going to just take off the pipes. So this, I believe, is 22mm. Take off that one there. The battery's already disconnected, so don't worry about that. And then I'm going to take the rest of the pipes off as well. I don't actually need to take these ones off at the back because I've got new pipes. So I'm going to just take the other one off, which is down here. So you've got the pipe here, you need to back this one off where my finger is there, and then there's a 10mm holding. This was easy enough with just a 22mm spanner, and this was a 14mm but a flange style spanner, and that means that you can really get a nice purchasing because most of the sides you connected with the spanner, so you don't round it. So I've managed to undo that, and it was incredibly tight, so I'll get that backed off properly. Nuts backed off for the fuel connection. I can just undo this 10mm, which is just down here, just where my socket is there. And then this whole fuel pipe will be off. Both these pipes are off. Obviously just stuck this top hat back on the fuel rail. And then this one's off as well, down there. I can just take off these two 10mm and the whole housing will come off, and along with these two pipes connected to it still. They're off. You can just pull it up and then out, just on that little hook behind there, and then just feed these pipes out the way. Don't be as long for it. There we go. We're out here. There we go. Leaking fuel everywhere, but you get the point. It's out. This mounting is correct. You see the brackets here, and you have these both basically in line with the back of the bracket. This is incorrect. This is kind of clocked like that, which means this is the pipe that got pulled. You can see when it's out. You can see it's damaged it here. It's quite subtle, but you don't really want to leak like that. So what I'm going to do next is disconnect these pipes, and the reason I want to do that is because I've got a brand new fuel filter, So you can clock it just by undoing this 10mm down there, and it just hinges on the back, and you can clock it wherever you want. So first of all, I'm just going to take this out of there, stick this whole fuel filter into a vise, and then take off these connections at the top here. So first things first, I came in and just put in this seal I've got. I'll show you the shape of the old one. It actually cracked completely, so that's no good. It also splits a little bit as you put it in because these seals are old, but I just put the little split in there at the bottom, but it's in much better shape. Also soaked this seal in a bit of silicone. I had some silicone spray, so I put it in that. And now I'm going to go to the heater matrix, which is kind of the main event for this thing. I've just taken off this Jubilee clip, and then once I've done that, I can pull this off. I'll lose a bit of coolant here, but whatever, that's okay. So there you go. And then I've got a little spring clip there, but now I've taken that off, I can just get that off as well, back that off, and then I'll be ready to place in this seal. It actually looks like someone's got the seal, but they've pushed it too far through. I can actually see that it's behind there, but it doesn't matter. I'm not going to go fishing behind the glove box to get that, behind the dash to get that. I'll just place the new seal in and leave that one that's just kicking it behind there. So get this off and then just put the new seal over the top of all this. I was thinking, why on earth is this so hard to take off? The answer is, whoever did this knows they did it. They've absolutely mangled this pipe and have made no effort to correct it. This one's a little bit crimped, you can kind of see, but this one, I'm lucky it was even flowing from that. It's ridiculous. So what I'm going to do is go in there with a little flathead screwdriver and just push this out and try and make it a bit rounder. But that is another great bodge on this car. And yeah, cheers. Managed to get that main crease out there. Now I'm just going to try and make it as round as possible. I'm going to use these pliers as the best bet, I think. Again, this is another kind of intermediate stage, and I've just kind of got these in here now. I'm kind of just rolling them round like this, trying to make that a bit nicer, and then just using these to kind of press here and try and make it so it's more round, but it's much better than it was, at least anyway. Okay, that's kind of the best I can do. Not perfect, but at least there's not that big fold in it, and I'll be able to get the pipe over nicely, and you won't even know it's there, but oh dear. Right, now this seal, see it's a nice one. I'm just going to feed it in there and then just not push it too far. You only need to have it so it's kind of in between there and there. That's where the actual bulkhead metal goes. And I'll just push that in place and show you. Okay, stage one is in place, and then I'm just going to pop it so it's on this bottom ledge under here. And then just feed it the whole way around. Fed it the whole way apart from the top. You want to leave the easiest side to last, so because trying to fiddle it from underneath is harder when the whole seal's in. So that's where we are, and I'll just push the top in now. There we have it, a little bit of patience, and it's all the way in, and that's what it should look like. And now hopefully I shouldn't have any more issues with any water getting in, because I think probably water was getting in there when it was heavily raining, and also the other seal that was knackered as well. So that means I also did this one here is a new one, and then over here down the bottom there was no seal there as well where my finger is. So now the whole of the bulkhead is sealed and we shouldn't have any more water issues, so that's a good job. The pipe went on nice and easy now. Just placed these spring clips in there before I slotted it in place, and I'll just put that one to there and that one to there, and then just put this top pipe. So the bottom pipe goes to the heater control, which I've whacked on hot to begin with, because that's where it's going to want to be when I do the coolant bleed I need to do again. And then this one goes from the top pipe to the thermostat. So just there where my finger is. So I'll just do that up tight as well now. I've put some coolant back in the radiator. I'll need to run the engine, obviously with the heater controls on hot. Finish that job off, and then top it up. Now I'm going to get onto the fuel filter. So what I'm going to do, this is the one that isn't working for me, because the pipe's knackered. And then I'm just going to take the pipe off here and probably use both of these pipes because they definitely haven't been damaged. I mean, this one's fine as well, so let me think about that. But disconnect these pipes, I think it's a 17, so I've taken that out of there. That little 10mm releases the fuel filter itself, comes off there like that. Okay, now I can put this in a vise and let's take off these fittings. First of all, 17 on here, it's off like that, and then we can just pop a 17 on here. So that's just shocked both those off, and then we can get the pipes themselves off. So now the new filter, we can just take these off here like that, the little covers, that one and that one. And then notice it's got the arrows, that's to the filter, and this is to the engine. And then we can just use these provided copper O-rings, and I've got some more anyway, and just place these in. So I've got one here, there's one either side of that, so I'll put one either side, and then this one's got the same scenario, two, one either side. Right, now here's the setup. I've got the 21mm, which is holding this part of the filter so it doesn't turn around, so I'm not relying on the actual vise doing anything, but I'm just holding it up. So that's going to react with torque, and then I'm just going to do this up with a 17mm here, and the same there, and that will just sort that whole thing out. I've actually also got a nut for, a washer for this, but as it's not leaking, I'm just going to leave it be. So just do that quick. So now that's all good. I'm just going to get the other bracket from the other filter housing, because it's a bit cleaner than this one, it's a bit rusty, and place it on. You can see here where that kind of rim is there, goes into this divot in the back, so you'll know the right height, and then you just want to clock it so it's quite neutral between the two. I'm going to leave it probably loose until the end, so I'll make sure I'm happy, or actually I'll just nip it up so it's neutral there, and then we're pretty much done it. Right, that's all tight there, rubber foot's in place. I'll just pop it in there and put the two 10mm in. Decided just to thread this fuel feed pipe up and just whack that 10mm just lightly in there, because it'll be much easier to do that when it's all loose. Then I can just simply place this fuel filter with the little foot on the peg there, and then the two 10mm in, and then I'll just tighten that up at the end with 14mm flange spanner. Then I've just got a little copper washer there. I've got this weird little washer here on the outside. Put in the comments if you think that's the wrong one, but I'm going to try it, and I didn't leak last time, so just put that together. So that's all pretty much back together again now. Got the air filter on there. There's the fuel filter all in place. That's tightened up by 22mm. And then now I just need to run it, obviously with the battery back in, and just bleed the coolant with the fans running hot, or at least the heater control on hot. And that is pretty much how you do all of those jobs. So fuel filter, heater matrix seal, and also fuel inlet seal from the bulkhead. Final thing on this, I've noticed that the pipe I've used is leaking a little bit. So if I show you down here, that pipe that goes from the heater control, that valve there, I think got nicked maybe when I pulled it off, because that pipe in the heater matrix was in really bad condition. So I'm going to just take that off. I've taken the air filter off to do that, obviously, and I've just got to this sticky mark, just got some Scotch Brite on there, taken all the sticky mark off, and there's been a bit of tiny bit of rust. I'm going to get some rust treater on that and a little bit of white spray paint and just put that over there. It's not going to be A1, but it will certainly look a little bit better and won't draw your eye to it like I kept on looking at it and thinking, what on earth is that? So I'm going to do that. Now next, to take this off, it's just these two spring clips. So I'm going to get in there, back these spring clips off and just pull that pipe off. So I've just taken the fuel filter off. Now I can see that hose connection. I'll just pull that back and take the pipe off. So this is the old pipe. I've just got some more here. I'm just going to just cut a bit off the end. This moves around a bit, so see if that installs nicely, or if I need to cut some more off. It's in there now. I think after some clamps gone, it's going to be perfect. There's the pipe in there. Done away with those spring clips and just got the Jubilees in there, and hopefully that will get rid of the leak. So I'm just going to go down there and just wipe off any coolant that had leaked, just so I can tell if I've fixed it or not. So the whole thing's pretty much back together now. So again, just need to run up to temperature, but I noticed that leak out of that pipe even before I'd actually run it up, so it must have been bad. Either way, just fill up the coolant and run up to temperature and check there aren't any leaks. So earlier when I was running the car, I noticed that it was a bit of a leak there from that line, and in the end I just switched it out. So I'd swapped them both for the other fuel line I'd bought, and it was just this new, well not new, but newish or new line that was wrong, and it was leaking just from in there. So I don't know if you can see it, but it almost looks like that line is a bit off centre. It's really hard to get a good angle on it. But anyway, so I switched it out for the original one, and now there's no leaks or anything, and we're all good. So I've actually run that up, checked the level. I just need to top the radiator off now, because I've run it up to temperature with the heater set on hot, and yeah, it's all fixed now.